Welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, specifically the Lincoln Wheat Penny, one of the most iconic and historically important coins in American numismatics. Now you might be wondering, how much could a single penny really be worth? Well, prepare to be amazed because some of these small copper coins have sold for hundreds of thousands and even close to $1 million at auctions. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was groundbreaking for one big reason. This was the first time in American history that a U.S. coin featured the portrait of a president. That bold design decision changed the future of American coinage forever. From 1909 until 1958, the wheat penny served as the standard 1-cent coin. Its design is instantly recognizable. On the obverse, we see Lincoln's dignified profile. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. For nearly 5 decades, this coin circulated in the hands of millions of Americans during some of the most dramatic moments in U.S. history: World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, and the booming post-war years. But not every wheat penny is just worth a cent. A small handful, because of rare minting errors, unusual conditions, or unique historical circumstances, are now worth staggering amounts. These coins have become the crown jewels for collectors, with values ranging from $130,000 to more than $800,000. In this video, we'll explore 5 of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. Each one tells a story, not only about American history, but also about the fascinating quirks of coin production. Let's begin with the very first coin on our list, the legendary 1909 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark and with a mysterious error that makes it worth more than $800,000, featuring the unusual 2 dots error on the obverse. This coin isn't just old, it's a symbol of transition, artistry, and a mistake that turned into a miracle for collectors. And in today's market, it has fetched well over $800,000. The year was 1909. America was celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The U.S. Mint wanted to honor Lincoln with a new 1-cent coin, and they commissioned Victor David Brenner, a talented engraver, to design it. His design made history because it was the first time in American coinage that a U.S. president's portrait appeared on a circulating coin. Until then, the designs on coins were mostly allegorical figures like Lady Liberty, but the Lincoln cent marked a new era. It showed the face of a real, historical leader, someone deeply loved and admired by the American people. This wasn't just currency, it was a tribute. On the obverse, Brenner's portrait of Lincoln is simple yet powerful. Lincoln faces right, his profile etched with solemn dignity. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame the denomination, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage and resilience. The 1909 penny came in several variations. The most famous is the 1909 SVDB, a coin minted in San Francisco with Brenner's initials on the reverse. That one is legendary for its low mintage. But today, we're focusing on something even more mysterious: the Philadelphia minted 1909 penny with no mint mark, showing 2 tiny but distinct dots on the obverse. What makes this coin so special? It's the minting error. Somewhere in the production process, 2 small but noticeable dots appeared on the obverse side of the coin. Errors like this are rare, especially from the very first year of the Lincoln cent. How did it happen? Experts believe these dots were caused by imperfections in the coin die, or possibly by debris interfering during the striking process. Such flaws are extremely uncommon, and when they happen in a historic year like 1909, they transform the coin from ordinary to extraordinary. Collectors prize error coins because they are, by definition, deviations from the norm. They tell the story of imperfection in a system designed for precision. And when that story is tied to the launch of an entirely new coin series, the result is pure magic. What's fascinating is that many of these error coins didn't survive in pristine condition. Most entered circulation, passing through countless hands in the early 20th century. Imagine the journey: a farmer using it at the market, a shopkeeper giving it as change, a child saving it in a piggy bank. Even in circulated condition, this coin remains incredibly valuable. Collectors don't mind the wear because the key details, the date, Lincoln's profile, and of course the two dots, are still visible. That wear even tells its own story, carrying with it a narrative of the coin's passage through history. Over the years, demand for this coin has skyrocketed. At auctions, examples of the 1909 no-mint mark penny with the two dots error have sold for over $800,000. That's nearly $1 million for a coin originally worth just 1 cent. Why such high prices? Because it combines three powerful factors. 1. Historic significance, first year of the Lincoln cent. 2. Error rarity, the unusual two-dot flaw. 3. Collector demand, a coin that every Lincoln specialist dreams of owning. It's worth noting that 1909 produced several collectible varieties. The 1909 SVDB is one of the most famous pennies in the world, valued because of its low mintage and the controversy surrounding Brenner's initials. But the Philadelphia no-mint mark version with the dots is in its own league. It's rarer, stranger, and arguably even more valuable. For coins of this magnitude, professional certification is essential. Grading services like PCGS or NGC confirm the authenticity of the coin, verify the error, and assign it a grade. This provides confidence for both buyers and sellers, ensuring that such high-value transactions are legitimate. Collectors also prefer certified examples because they are better preserved and protected. Given the age and rarity of this coin, having it encapsulated and authenticated significantly boosts its market appeal. Even beyond the error, the 1909 penny is a work of art. Lincoln's portrait, though slightly worn on circulated coins, remains dignified and recognizable. The wheat ears on the reverse continue to symbolize prosperity despite the passage of time. And those two little dots, they make the coin instantly identifiable, setting it apart from the millions of standard issues. For collectors, owning this coin is more than a financial investment. It's a connection to history. It's holding a piece of 1909, the dawn of the Lincoln cent series, and a rare anomaly that shouldn't even exist. That combination of rarity, history, and beauty is what makes numismatics so compelling. Imagine the thrill of discovering such a coin in an old collection, or the pride of showcasing it as the crown jewel of your set. It's not just a coin, it's a story, a mystery, and a treasure all in one. Now let's move forward to another legendary penny. From the era of World War II, we look at the 1944 D Lincoln wheat penny, a coin struck from recycled wartime materials and valued at more than $350,000. Here we find the 1944 D Lincoln wheat penny, minted in Denver and valued at more than $350,000 in circulated condition. This coin is fascinating. Not only for its rarity and design, but also for the story it tells about America's resilience during wartime. In 1944, the United States was in the thick of World War II. Every resource, from steel to copper, was being redirected to the war effort. Even the humble penny was affected. In 1943, to save copper for military equipment, the U.S. Mint temporarily produced pennies from zinc-coated steel. These steel cents were necessary but deeply unpopular, as they rusted easily and were often mistaken for dimes. By 1944, the Mint returned to copper coinage. But here's the twist. Instead of using freshly mined copper, they melted down and recycled spent shell casings from military training grounds. These casings, once fired in the service of America's soldiers, were transformed into 1-cent coins, a powerful symbol of turning weapons of war into tools of peace. The 1944 D penny carries that symbolism proudly. It's more than currency. It's a piece of wartime history in your hand. The 1944 penny was produced at multiple mints, but the Denver Mint, identified by the small d under the date, struck some of the most coveted examples. The Denver Mint was one of the major coin producers during the 20th century, and its issues often carry a special allure for collectors. In 1944, the Denver Mint struck millions of pennies, but only a small fraction of these have survived in collectible condition today, especially those with strong details and minimal damage. Like other wheat pennies, the 1944 D features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Lincoln's profile is sharply defined, even on circulated coins, with details of his hair, beard, and coat still visible in well-preserved examples. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears frame the denomination, symbolizing prosperity and America's agricultural heritage. Even in worn coins, this classic design remains elegant and deeply symbolic. What makes the 1944 D so valuable is not only its history, but also its scarcity in well-preserved condition. While over 512 million were struck in Denver that year, finding examples that survive circulation without heavy wear, scratches, or corrosion is surprisingly difficult. Collectors prize circulated coins with clear mint marks and dates, as these details are crucial for authentication. Even in circulated condition, the 1944 D can command astronomical values because of its unique place in American numismatic history. Another reason for the coin's appeal is the possibility of mint errors. Some 1944 D pennies exhibit doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or other striking anomalies. Error coins are always in high demand because they combine rarity with curiosity. For example, a coin showing a doubled date or an unusual mint mark can easily exceed the already high base value of a 1944 D penny. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for such variations, making this issue especially exciting. Over the years, circulated examples of the 1944 D Lincoln wheat penny have sold for more than $350,000 at auction. The price depends heavily on condition, but the overall trend has been upward. Numismatic interest has grown significantly in recent decades, with more people around the world taking up coin collecting. This has driven demand and prices for historically significant coins like the 1944 D. Even coins with modest wear can command six-figure sums. That's because collectors recognize that the true value lies not only in the coin's physical appearance, but in the story it carries. For many collectors, the appeal of the 1944 D penny goes beyond dollars and cents. It represents a nation at war, a people making sacrifices, and a symbolic transformation of military materials into everyday currency. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of America's wartime perseverance. It's a tangible reminder of resilience, resourcefulness, and the return to normalcy after years of global conflict. Given its high value, professional certification is critical for the 1944 D penny. Reputable grading services can confirm authenticity, evaluate condition, and document any error features. Certification also protects buyers and sellers, making high-value transactions secure. A graded and encapsulated coin will almost always command a higher price than a raw, uncertified one. For Lincoln Cent specialists, the 1944 D is a must-have. It represents not only a crucial era in U.S. history, but also one of the most compelling stories in the wheat penny series. Collectors often see this coin as more than an investment. It's a keepsake of America's greatest generation. Whether displayed in a collection or kept as a family heirloom, the 1944 D penny carries deep emotional and historical weight. Next, we'll shift to the late 1930s, a time when the U.S. was recovering from the Great Depression and preparing for the challenges of global conflict. Our spotlight moves to the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, another extraordinary coin worth more than $450,000. 1938 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition. Though it may look like an ordinary penny at first glance, this coin has commanded prices of over $450,000 at auction. Let's explore why. The year was 1938. The U.S. economy was slowly recovering from the devastation of the Great Depression. Factories were running again, jobs were returning, and optimism was cautiously rising. Yet across the Atlantic, tensions were escalating as the world edged closer to World War II. Coins minted in this period reflect both resilience and uncertainty. Every cent mattered to families rebuilding their lives, and the Lincoln wheat penny was at the heart of everyday transactions, buying bread, candy, or newspapers. The 1938 wheat penny carries with it that atmosphere of transition. It's a coin that circulated during an important moment in U.S. history, and today it stands as a tangible reminder of that era. The Philadelphia Mint, the nation's oldest minting facility, produced the 1938 wheat penny. Philadelphia minted coins are recognized by the absence of a mint mark beneath the date. In 1938, over 411 million pennies were struck in Philadelphia. That sounds like a massive number, but here's the catch. Very few of them survived in fine condition or better. The sheer volume of circulation, combined with decades of wear, means that pristine examples are exceptionally scarce today. The 1938 penny features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. By this time, the design had already been in use for nearly 3 decades, yet it remained timeless and deeply respected. On the reverse, the wheat ears flank the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. These simple, elegant design elements symbolized prosperity and agricultural strength, a fitting message for a nation recovering from hardship. Even in fine condition, many of the key details remain visible. Lincoln's face retains recognizable features, and the wheat ears, though softened, still frame the inscriptions clearly. The term fine condition in numismatics means that while the coin shows clear signs of wear, the major design elements remain intact. For the 1938 wheat penny, this is particularly important because so few examples have survived in such condition. Most of the 411 million minted were worn down heavily in circulation. Finding one that avoided severe damage, corrosion, or cleaning is a challenge. That scarcity is what drives collectors to pay premium prices for examples in fine condition. At major auctions, the 1938 no-mint mark wheat penny in fine condition has sold for more than $450,000. These high prices reflect a combination of scarcity, condition, and historical appeal. It's not just about having a coin from 1938. It's about having one of the best preserved survivors from that year, representing an important chapter in the Lincoln cent story. By 1938, the Lincoln wheat penny had become a beloved part of American coinage. Its design was familiar to every household, and its presence in daily life was universal. For collectors, coins from this period are especially appealing because they connect directly to the nation's transition from economic hardship to wartime resilience. Owning a 1938 penny is like holding a fragment of America's past, a piece of history that links the Depression years to the global conflict that followed. Why are collectors so drawn to this coin? Several reasons. Era significance, a coin struck in the final years before World War II. Condition rarity, survival in fine condition is uncommon. Historical connection, a link to the Great Depression recovery. Series importance, a must-have for anyone building a complete Lincoln set. This combination ensures that demand for the 1938 penny remains strong, with collectors worldwide willing to compete for the few available examples. As always with high-value coins, professional certification plays a crucial role. Grading services provide assurance of authenticity, verify condition, and protect the coin in tamper-proof holders. A certified 1938 penny in fine condition will almost always command a higher price than an uncertified one because buyers can be certain of what they're getting. In a market where values can soar above $450,000, that confidence is essential. For the serious numismatist, the 1938 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is more than just a collectible. It's a conversation piece, a treasure, and a tangible slice of history. It represents the artistry of Victor David Brenner, the resilience of Depression-era America, and the enduring legacy of Lincoln's image on U.S. coinage. To hold such a coin is to feel the weight of history in the palm of your hand. Our next coin may come as a surprise. Most people assume that valuable coins must be in pristine, shiny, uncirculated condition. But the 1956 D Lincoln wheat penny proves that's not always true. Even in bad and rusty condition, this coin has been valued at over $130,000. Let's explore how a coin that looks damaged and worn can still command such an incredible price. The mid-1950s were a period of booming prosperity in the United States. The Second World War was behind the nation, the economy was thriving, and the middle class was growing rapidly. Suburban homes, television sets, and cars became symbols of the American dream. During this time, pennies were everywhere, used in vending machines, jukeboxes, and everyday purchases. The Lincoln wheat penny, still in production, remained a familiar sight in every pocket and purse. The 1956 issue came near the end of the wheat penny era, which would conclude in 1958 when the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. That makes coins from this period particularly nostalgic for collectors. The 1956 penny we're focusing on was minted in Denver, identified by the small D mint mark beneath the date. The Denver Mint was a major coin producer in the 20th century, and its issues are often sought after for their unique characteristics and variations. Although millions were minted, very few have survived with the specific combination of traits that make the 1956D in poor condition so desirable to collectors. Normally, a coin in bad condition, rusted, corroded, or heavily worn, would be considered nearly worthless in the numismatic market. Condition is often king, and collectors pay the highest premiums for coins in mint state or uncirculated grades. But the 1956D wheat penny is a fascinating exception. Despite being rusty and worn, it has achieved values of over $130,000 at auction. Why? Because in numismatics, condition is just one part of the equation. Rarity, historical significance, and collector demand can often outweigh physical flaws. While many 1956 pennies were produced, relatively few 1956D coins with certain die characteristics or minting quirks have survived. Those that did often circulated for decades, accumulating rust and damage along the way. Yet collectors still prize them. Why? Because even in flawed condition, they represent a scarce and meaningful piece of the Lincoln series. It's not about beauty, it's about history and rarity. Despite the rust, many of the coin's design elements are still visible. Lincoln's profile on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, though softened by wear. The wheat ears on the reverse, framing the denomination and national inscription, the D mint mark beneath the date, confirming its Denver origin. These details, though faded, connect the coin to its place in the long lineage of Lincoln cents. Collectors often pursue coins like the 1956D wheat penny to complete their Lincoln cent collections. Even damaged examples are highly sought after if they carry the right date and mint mark combination. Auction sales have shown that demand for these coins is strong, with prices reaching six figures despite poor condition. This reflects a broader trend in numismatics. Scarcity and history can make almost any coin valuable, regardless of its appearance. The presence of rust on a copper coin tells its own story. Copper reacts with moisture and air over time, developing corrosion that can leave the surface rough or discolored. While this usually lowers value in the case of the 1956D, it adds character and uniqueness. Some collectors even appreciate the patina and weathered look as a sign of authenticity, a marker that the coin truly lived through decades of circulation. What drives collectors to pay over $130,000 for a rusty penny? It's not just about owning a rare date, it's about owning a story. A coin that survived the mid-century boom years. A relic from the last chapter of the wheat penny design. A piece of history that defied the odds by remaining valuable despite its flaws. For many collectors, these stories are more important than perfection. Over the past decade, the value of the 1956D wheat penny, even in bad condition, has risen steadily. Auction houses and private sales have recorded figures well above $130,000, reflecting growing interest in Lincoln cents and era varieties. This trend underscores an important lesson. Never judge a coin's value solely by its appearance. Even damaged coins benefit from professional certification. Grading services confirm authenticity, document the coin's features, and provide a secure holder. For a coin like the 1956D in rusty condition, certification assures buyers that the piece is genuine and historically significant despite its flaws. Without certification, skepticism could lower the price. With it, the coin's value is protected and often enhanced. Now, for our final coin, we turn to the year 1952. A penny with a dirty, black-shaded patina that might look unremarkable at first glance, but which collectors have valued at more than $140,000 when America was experiencing booming prosperity and a new sense of identity in the post-war era. Amid this cultural and economic growth, the U.S. Mint struck the 1952D Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that, despite its dirty and black-shaded condition, has stunned collectors by selling for more than $140,000. At first glance, a worn and darkened penny might seem worthless, but in numismatics, appearances can be deceiving. Let's uncover why this seemingly ordinary coin is actually an extraordinary treasure. The early 1950s were a time of optimism in the United States. The country had emerged from World War II as a global superpower. The economy was expanding and the middle class was flourishing. New technologies, suburban development, and consumer culture were reshaping everyday life. Amid these changes, the Lincoln wheat penny remained a staple of commerce. By 1952, it had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades, and it was deeply familiar to every American. The coin's design, a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and wheat ears on the reverse, was as recognizable as the dollar bill itself. The coin we're focusing on was minted at the Denver Mint, identifiable by the small D mint mark beneath the date. The Denver Mint played a crucial role in producing coins during the 20th century, often supplying large portions of circulating coinage for the western United States. In 1952, millions of pennies were struck in Denver, but only a fraction have survived in collectible condition. Among those survivors, the ones with unique visual traits, like the dark black shading, stand out dramatically. Normally, collectors place the highest value on coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. But the 1952D challenges this assumption. Some examples of this penny have developed a dark, dirty, black-shaded patina over decades of circulation and environmental exposure. This shading results from oxidation and natural aging, which cause the copper surface to darken. Instead of diminishing the coin's value, this unique appearance has made it more desirable to certain collectors. The patina tells a story. It suggests age, authenticity, and survival across more than 70 years of history. Even beneath the shading, the coin's design elements remain discernible. Lincoln's profile is visible, showing his iconic beard and dignified expression. The wheat ears on the reverse frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. The D mint mark beneath the date clearly identifies its Denver origin. Collectors appreciate that, despite its condition, the coin retains the essential features of the wheat penny design. Surprisingly, examples of the 1952D wheat penny in dirty and black-shaded condition have sold for more than $140,000. This may seem incredible for a coin in less than perfect shape, but the value is driven by rarity, collector demand, and the story behind the coin. Auction houses have recorded strong bidding wars for such examples, demonstrating that appearance alone does not define value in the numismatic world. Why are collectors willing to pay so much for a coin in this condition? The answer lies in character and uniqueness. While shiny, uncirculated coins are attractive, aged and patinated coins tell a different story. They reflect decades of circulation, countless hands exchanging them, and the passage of history itself. For many collectors, that connection is priceless. Additionally, completing a full Lincoln wheat cent collection often requires securing rarer dates and mint marks like the 1952D. Even in imperfect condition, these coins are highly sought after to fill gaps in collections. The 1952D penny is made of about 95% copper, which gives it some intrinsic material value. While its melt value is tiny compared to its numismatic worth, the fact that it's composed of nearly pure copper adds to its historical charm. Copper's natural tendency to darken over time also explains the black shading that makes this particular coin so unique. What might look like dirt or damage to the untrained eye is, to many collectors, a badge of authenticity. Professional grading and certification are essential for coins like the 1952D. Certification ensures the coin is genuine, documents its condition, and provides assurance to buyers in high-value transactions. A certified example, even in black-shaded condition, commands far more trust and value in the market than an uncertified coin. This is especially true when prices exceed $140,000. The black shading of the 1952D penny is not just surface discoloration, it's a story etched into the metal. Each mark and darkened area reflects decades of life, from the bustling markets of the 1950s to the countless pockets and hands it passed through. For collectors, that history is tangible. Owning such a coin is like holding a silent witness to America's post-war prosperity, cultural shifts, and decades of daily life. And with that, we've covered all 5 of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies, coins that prove even the smallest pieces of change can carry immense worth and history. We've now explored 5 of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever struck by the United States Mint. From the very first year of the series in 1909 to the post-war era of the 1950s, each coin we discussed carried its own unique story, a blend of history, artistry, and rarity that has captured the imagination of collectors for generations. Let's quickly recap these incredible treasures. 1. 1909, Lincoln Wheat Penny, no mint mark 2. Dots error. Worth more than $800,000, this coin is a remarkable blend of historic importance and minting mystery, marking the very first year of the Lincoln Cent series. 2. 1944 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, born out of World War II, made from recycled shell casings and valued at $350,000 plus. It's both a coin and a symbol of resilience. 3. 1938 Lincoln Wheat Penny, no mint mark, fine condition. A survivor from the Depression to War transition era, commanding over $450,000 at auction. 4. 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, bad rusty condition. Proof that even a corroded, imperfect coin can exceed $130,000 in value if it's rare enough. 5. 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, dirty black shaded condition. With its dark patina and aged surface, this coin has reached values of $140,000 plus, showing that character and uniqueness matter just as much as shine. So what makes a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? As we've seen, there are a few powerful factors. Rarity. The fewer examples that survive, the higher the demand and value. Historical context. Coins tied to important eras, like the first Lincoln cent of 1909 or wartime pennies from the 1940s, carry deeper meaning. Errors and unique features. From misplaced dots to unusual patinas, minting quirks often transform ordinary coins into priceless collectibles. Condition, but not always. While mint state coins usually bring the highest prices, as we learned, even rusty or dirty pennies can be worth a fortune if they're scarce and desirable. Together, these factors remind us that coin collecting is not just about shiny metal, it's about stories, survival, and significance. For collectors, each Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than currency. It's a miniature time capsule. Holding one connects you directly to the people and events of its time. A 1909 penny links you to the centennial celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birth. A 1944 penny connects you to the sacrifices of World War II. A 1938 penny tells the story of resilience after the Great Depression. And even the worn 1950s coins remind us of the optimism of post-war America. Every scratch, every bit of patina, and every flaw is a reminder that these coins lived lives of their own before finding their way into collections and auction houses. Here's the most exciting part. These coins are still out there, hidden in jars, tucked in old drawers, or passed down through family inheritances. Treasures like these often surface when least expected. That's why collectors and hobbyists check their pocket change, search through inherited boxes, and study every coin closely. Because you never know, your next penny might just be worth a life-changing sum. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, produced from 1909 to 1958, remains one of the most beloved and widely collected coin series in U.S. history. It combines artistry, symbolism, and accessibility. Whether you're a beginner with a handful of pennies or a seasoned collector chasing six-figure rarities, there's a place for everyone in the world of Lincoln cents. These 5 coins remind us that value is not just measured in money, it's measured in history, rarity, and the stories coins carry with them. That's the true magic of numismatics. Music swells slightly. So next time you come across an old penny, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Study the details. That small piece of copper might not just be a coin, it might be a treasure. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare Lincoln Wheat pennies, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you own any wheat pennies? Have you ever checked them for rare dates, mint marks, or errors? Your story might just inspire another collector to look a little closer at the change in their pocket. Music fades out. And with that, thank you for joining us. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin find be one for the history books.